All right, guys, Colin C. and Joe P. back from the Crypto Boys. We have got a great, but I'd say interesting video for you guys today. Joe and I were thinking, we're like, what are some questions we have about this whole crypto space, the fiat space? Because we've been seeing a lot of things that are maybe FUD, but maybe not, kind of rolling through and comparing the two. We're going to keep this a little bit more open-ended and a little bit more kind of in between a live and kind of in between our more normal, more structured videos. Is that Joe and I were thinking we have so many topics that we just want to talk about, that we just want to get on here and discuss in the crypto space. And this is how we're going to do it. We don't know the name for it yet, but you're going to see a little bit more of these videos coming out when something pops in our head and we're just like, hey, we're going to get on here. We're going to try to talk about it in 15 minutes or less. There might be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, whatever there may be. But this is just something we thought about and we're going to roll with it today.
What we're going to discuss and distinguish is the difference between crypto and fiat. And is crypto going to overtake fiat? Is fiat going to be just to zero at some point? And we're talking the US dollar here.
Or how about the other way around? Is crypto going to go to zero? Is crypto going to be overtaken by fiat? All of these questions I've been seeing on a lot of people's videos lately and a lot of people's minds. So I think it's going to be a good one. All right, Joe. So for the first question I kind of want to go over is, clearly they're both here to stay. Even if you're bearish as bearish can be on crypto and you hate it, you think it's the fake, you think it's going to zero, whatever, it's here to stay. It's
right.
Getting mass adopted. If you haven't, you can just open up anything on Google and you know. So what I'm trying to say is, do we think that they're both going to coexist somehow? Or is crypto going to overrun fiat? Or how is that going to look in the next 10 years for either fiat or crypto?
Good question. I'm going to start this off by saying we all know that the executive order from Biden has come out and it's talking about, hey, crypto's here to stay. We know that. In the next 10 years, though, that's a good take. My thought would be here is that the US dollar is not going anywhere. It is utilized for everything all around the world, for trades, the SWIFT system. I mean, you name it, we use the US dollar.
Most reserve currencies are in it too.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Even Russia, I think.
The ruble?
I think they're trying to get away from it, but I'm pretty sure even the Russian ruble is.
Yeah. So they clearly,
for it.
It's not going anywhere. We're printing it all the time, which can be a good thing, could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Crypto, on the other hand, is the new generation of it. It makes it easier. It makes it faster. So it's taking A and moving it to B. They're definitely going to be around. What I think in 10 years, I think crypto is going to be dominating the US dollar because of the ease.
I think what's going to happen is, I think you're going to see more of a level-headed approach from people to crypto. I think you're going to go down the street and you're going to be able to have a conversation with random people saying, hey, what crypto are you buying today? And they're probably going to understand what you're talking about. Right now, if you did that, maybe 1 in 20 people would have any clue what you're actually saying to them. So I think it's going to be more widely accepted conversation to have, being like, hey, what you invest in today, what cryptos are you looking at, whatever it may be. But I think it's going to be more equally based than we've ever had it before. Do I think we're going to be equally based and it's going to be some sort of new dollar? Not in 10 years. No, that's way too far off to think that. But look what happened in the last 5 years. I mean, the US government was literally crapping all over crypto every second it got. And now they're writing executive orders on it.
And millionaires at this point are coming in the space of crypto, and they're buying crypto. I mean, you look at Kevin O'Leary, you look at all these huge major investors, and they're putting money into crypto. So clearly they think it's going somewhere too, which is definitely good signs, bullish signs for the space. So I don't think it's going anywhere, of course. We don't think it's going to go anywhere.
No, and honestly, if you think, it's a good point, because if you think about it, do you think these crazy billionaire types, these moguls of literally money, are going to be taking their fiat currency, 20% of it, sometimes more than 20% of it, putting it into some fake scheme, Ponzi scheme crypto, and run the risk of losing 25% of their money that they work so? And you're telling me they're going to take 25% of their net worth and throw it into something that they think is going to go to zero?
No way.
It doesn't make any sense at all. So I think the backbone of this video and why I think it's important to have is, you need to diversify. You need to have some crypto saved up. You better have some doll hairs saved up as well. And you better be comfortable with spending some, saving some, and where you want to keep them. In my opinion, I'd keep most of my reserves in crypto, because you have a much better chance of it not getting eaten by inflation.
That's right. Well, and I mean, think about it back in the day of, like, if you wanted Frank's chicken over there and you had a couple, goats or something, you're going to have to trade a goat for 7 chickens. You're just going to have to make up whatever this exchange rate is. Moving forward, I think it's going to be easier. The U.S. dollar is not going to change, but the crypto to U.S. dollar, the stable coin clearly is going to help with that. But the dollar is not going away because it's necessary, it's established, and it's an easy trading platform.
Agreed. And that's a great point, because the buying and the selling, and everybody's like, well, if you don't have a buyer for your Cardano, then no one's ever going to buy it and it's worth nothing. Well, it's the same thing for this computer. If we tried to sell this computer and no one wanted this MacBook because MacBook went under, guess what? Now we're holding a rock that doesn't do anything in some night light. It's everything in the whole world has to be bought and has to be traded because somebody else wants what you have and they're willing to give you something for it.
That's right.
Typically, it's been the US dollar. Yep. Pretty soon, it's going to be some crypto.
And just because you don't understand it at this point doesn't mean that it's not worth it. Just because you don't understand how to use a Mac doesn't mean that it's not valuable to someone else. So someone's always looking to buy something, for good or bad reasons or whatever it is. They're always looking to buy something.
And even if you're just listening to influencers online, or if you're just listening to this, it's crazy. You need to do your own research on this stuff. You need to be diving in, because if anything was more uncertain and more shaky than it is right now, it was a long time ago that it happened. Just think about the people who have invested into crypto early on, what kind of money they would have had. Think if you would have put all you had $10,000. Let's say you put it all in the bank over the last 10 years. And let's just, what is that worth now? $11,000?
Maybe.
Maybe.
$10,004?
$10,015?
Right.
Who knows? Because it's always going up and down like that. But think if you would have bought 10 grand worth of Bitcoin in 2011 when it was $1.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be a
billionaire.
Billionaire
billions
almost.
Beyond billions, I think.
You'd have so much money.
What would that even be? It'd be huge.
That's like the guy that put out the video that said you need to buy Bitcoin at $1. He was, I cannot remember his name, but he's all over the place. Yeah, he's always on everyone's channel.
Moon.
Yeah, he's always on Carl Moon. And that's exactly what he said. And supposedly he's this billionaire now because he bought a bunch of Bitcoin at less than $1. So it's insane.
Well, and you have to actually believe in the space, because right now when the markets are low, no one's watching YouTube on crypto, this, that, or the other thing. You've got to believe in the space when things are down and they're looking bleak. That is when every single great investor, that is when every single person in the whole world truly made their money. That is when they did it. When everybody else is running to the right and it's like nice sunny shine rainbows and there's banks and you can put your money over here and it's cute. The bad boys, the bad girls, they take that left and they're like, nah, I think I'm going to go this way instead because everybody's running that way. That doesn't look right.
That's right.
And they go left and boom, they're rich as hell now.
Same thing with the market. If it's up on one day, you got the normal everyday folk that's hopping in to try to buy it and FOMOing in, and they just don't make the money, and then they lose money, and then they get out. But the smart people, the people that are smart, are doing the opposite of the common trends, and that's kind of what we're getting at this point.
And I kind of like having almost of this kind of type of video that's more of like this open discussion, because we have no idea where it's going to go. We obviously understand what we like, and pretty much 90% of my money is in crypto. I'm going to be honest with you, pretty much all of it, because I really truly believe in this space, and if I eat it, I eat it. It's the way it goes. It's here to stay, and it's going to be a mass adopted, and if you want to get in now, you're still early.
So moving on then, what do you think about a CBDC, a coin that is ran by the government for potentially an on and off ramp, or potentially getting into the crypto space, or your Chase Bank having a crypto coin? What do you think about that?
Again, great question. I've seen some people that think that it's like going to be like a hedge, or not a hedge, but it's going to be something that's going to push us closer to like socialism. I don't think that at all. I literally think this government controlled coin is digital currency is the government's way of kind of like the weed thing, of like, hey, we need to start making money off of this because the market cap went from, this many billions, which wasn't very many at all, to now over 3 trillion at its top.
Right.
So far, it's going to go much higher than that. Is that the government's like, let's not lose it like we did on the marijuana. Let's not create that absolute debacle. Let's get out in front of this and let's, start keeping going what's already happening. So that's what I see it as. I don't see it as anything like, I've seen a bunch of Instagram posts about people really rolling it through the mud and stuff. And some of it I don't even understand because they're going so far away from where actually neutrality is. But in my opinion, it's bullish as can be.
I think that realistically, it needs to happen at some point. It's basically a way for the government to step in, trying to regulate something so that they can make money off of it. The marijuana example is a perfect example of like everyone's against it. Everyone's against it. We are not doing that. That is totally against the law. That is totally against the rule. The only people that do that are criminals. Exactly like crypto. That's what everyone said at the time, of course. And now they're like, well, we're not criminals and we'll take some money from it. We'll make a little bit of money off of it. So I think that's their way to monitor a little bit about what's going on. And, if you aren't a criminal or trying to do criminal activities, which we're not, with crypto, we're buying crypto as an investment, trying to make money off of it. We'll pay taxes on it. Like, we'll do everything that you're supposed to do when you make money. So I think it's just a way for them to just step in and say, hey, we actually think this is a good idea. You guys did a good job, whoever invented it in their basement at their grandma's house. So thanks for doing that for us, but we'll take a small cut of it.
In my opinion, there's no way to be fully decentralized, and there's no way to fully really keep going with the centralization theme. Is that there's no way that you're telling me that somewhere in the crypto space of the decentralization, there's always going to be some sort of centralized factor there. Even if it is, nodes running and someone's got more, pull than others because they have more of that coin or whatever it is, there's going to be some small centralized aspect of even the most decentralized places and the decentralized projects out there. And there's going to be centralization is going to have to be able to come in and meet this in the middle. Because if we don't, then we're going to keep running back and forth of, oh, now crypto's got to go underground again for 5 years. Oh, now everybody's rich again in crypto. So now, you're never really going to solve what you put out to solve. And this executive order and other things like that with the government bringing people in on the Senate floor and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think the government, too, just needs to kind of get educated on it. That's their step right now, is like trying to learn from these massive CEOs of Coinbase, for example, and things like that, coming to them and presenting them all the information of like why it's not bad. Like, when you don't know something about something you don't know, you get a little nervous about it. You don't really know what to expect with it. You think that it's going to be bad for you. So educating the government and these officials is going to be huge, which is what they're doing right now. And then proceeding forward, once you learn more about it or they learn more about it, I think, it's going to be a bullish space. It really is.
Well, even with crypto, everybody that I've talked to that doesn't like it or whatever is exactly what you just said. They're uneducated on it. Or the second part is they didn't want to stay in for 4 years. They put in, dabbled, they either made a little bit of money, then it crashed on them or whatever it is, or they lost some money, is that they weren't able to put in money and watch it for 4 years. If you're unable to watch a very volatile market, if you're unable to watch these highs and lows, you are going to be in the red, and you are definitely going to sell low, and you are definitely going to be mad.
So you're telling me long-term mindset here in the crypto space.
If you're not, don't get into it. I'm being honest with you guys right now. There's no point. Put your money in, an ETF or something like that. Let it go 8, 9, 10% a year, and just let it sit there. And don't worry about it.
We should make the shirt. Make a shirt that says long-term in crypto or something.
We need to make some. We need to start selling something.
That's right. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this new kind of style that we're playing with here a little bit. If you did, make sure that you liked the video. It pushes the content out to everyone in YouTube. We do appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's always a plus here at the Crypto Boys. And as always, thanks for being with the fittest crypto channel on YouTube.